Okay, looking a bit different now. It had its final sanding and everything, and I've given it a couple of goes with primer just to stop it rusting mainly, and now I'm starting to throw the electrics in, and they are pretty much just thrown in. I've decided to screw the tray to it. That's why there's extra long screws sticking out the bottom. I will end up with 4 nuts down the bottom, but once it's all painted I don't think you'll notice them too much. And I'm just in the process of fitting up the seat. I want it'll hook in the back on these plastics. So I've done one of the bars. That'll be welded on there. So the plastic, hang on a minute, let's stick you up in the air. There you go. So the plastic will hook into there, something like that. So that'll hold the back end down. Excuse me. And on the front, I'm just mutilating it to take the actual clip mechanism. This is a double whammy. I think, not 100% yet, but I think this will be bolted on rather than welded onto the bars. Anyway, that'll go somewhere there. So the seat will clip backwards into these metal loops, and then it will click down at the front onto that metal bit there. Obviously it will be fitted a bit better than that. There you go. So that'll be clipped down onto that. It's a bit of a double whammy because I don't know whether you can see there's just the slightest gap between the mechanism itself. This is so difficult one-handed. The mechanism itself and the battery. So I will line this with foam, and then that will press down onto the battery as well, giving it even more stability. At the moment the battery's in its own tray, so it's held very securely. I've yet to put the elastic over the ECU to hold that in place, and then figure out the rectifier and possibly some sort of cooling for it. Although there wasn't much more cooling than this is going to have anyway. The air is going to get in, you know, there's plenty of space there for air to come in and circulate throughout, so I don't envisage it being too much of a problem. Famous last words, that's that going up in smoke. But overall it's not looking too bad. So this bar here, I've just bolted it on there. Obviously it needs completely cleaning off, and then deciding whether I'm going to weld it on, which it should be, or shouldn't. No, it really wants bolting on. I made this mistake with a 600. It was such a palaver to strip it down to get at anything, and I think with it being bolted down, it just gives me that easy option. Couple of bolts and it's off, out the way. I can get to all the electrics, because there's quite a few fuses, relays and things that sit on the front here. There you go, there's one of them, big lump that sit at the front here, and then obviously to make it easier to get the battery out and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that will be bolted. I use some of those rivet nuts. It won't take much, a couple of 5mm, that'll do it. Hold it in place, because my arse will be the main one holding it in place. But yeah, there you go, that's as far as I've got today. And then once it's all in place, something like that, yeah, the hoops on the side there, the wiring is getting crushed for the ECU, so I think this bit of the seat might get hollowed out a bit more. Yeah, rip it apart to allow for the wiring a bit better. But then obviously, well, not obviously, but the seat wants a bit more shaping. I'll possibly take it to a professional upholsterer's to do the seat. I don't think I want it overhanging at all, so at least level with, so all that wants trimming off, but possibly better done by a professional than me, because not only do I want all this cut off, but I want it so it meets and sort of it will cover, so the seat will sit and you'll see the top side of this bar and then the seat. I don't want a gap there that you can actually see the battery and stuff like that, which obviously if I left it like that you can see the gubbins, all the guts and goings on. So yes, so I've got to make another one of these. They'll be welded on. Yes, they'll be welded on, and then I've got to bolt that on, clean that right off, and then bolt it on. And yeah, job should be a good one. Should be. And then obviously, not obviously, I've got the cable over there, but I've got to reduce the size of the cable, and then all I've got to do is answer the phone. My wife inquiring after my health. I'm still a bit emotional. So yes, got some cleaning up and some trimming to do on this, and got some cleaning up and drilling to do on that, so I'll get on with that. So this is the bracket for the front of the seat, which is going to go across there. It needs to be flat in the middle, which means the ends need to be twisted. So I'm just going to heat up the ends and give them a slight twist, and then it should be good to fit. There you go, in the centre is flat. A little bit more on the outer edge. Okay, so that fits nicely. Centre bit's flat, end bits are twisted slightly. Just want bolting down, and I think I will do rivet nuts for that, as I've said before, so I can, if needed, actually take it out the way to access the battery and everything down the front here. So it'll only be little M5 rivet nuts. Just let that cool down a bit. So another morning, starting to tinker in the shed. Got the bracket in for the seat, and it all sits together quite nicely. Might need to take it off if I need to tilt the tank, but not a nightmare because it's bolted in. Well, it is one side, the other side's got a nail in it for now. I've run out of M4 rivet nuts. So what I'm doing at the moment is cutting a hole in here to take the lock, to activate the seat lock. Just had to go and get oh, that's a big one. Get a big drill. I didn't have a 20mm drill. I should get one of them step hole things. I think you can get them that go up to some lovely sizes. But yes, so that's what I'm up to. Got to drill the rest of that, and then I've got to cut the cable down, reconfigure the end, hook it all on, blah de blah. And this is what I'm using. It's a Slinky Glide. As you can tell, I've had it for a little while. Our Slinky Glide set is just an emergency cable repair kit, and it's got an end in there that you just screw to the end of the cable and clamp it down, which will be my new union at the end. So first of all, right, clean some of them edges up, fit the lock, see how much cable I need. Okay, so I took a couple of the burrs off and put the lock in, and it's all working lovely. So now I just need to get the backing on and clip it up. So I'm going to take the mechanism back off like that. There we go. It just didn't realise it wanted to go on. So that's all in place. And you can see it's quite tight in there. Probably could do with a packing washer in or something. And from the inside, stick it around there. You can see, if I put the battery back in, this is why it to be so far forward. This is why it to be so far forward here. I was going to have it there, as you can see from the mark, but when the actual mechanism moves, it would have been, I could have had it more upright, but the mechanism itself will probably hit the battery or the tray or the wires. So I've gone for the angle, and then the cable will come up, run alongside between the bracket and the battery to the mechanism. Probably.